What if like that's the key to like bringing Marvel back to full strength? Is they just go to an alternate universe and just rerun the entire Infinity Saga?
No.
Just like redo, and it's just like, you know, it comes back to like, you know, I Love You 2000 or whatever, right? It's just all minor variations.
Oh, I see what you've done. Yeah. I thought you were misquoting it.
Welcome back to the Breakroom, everybody. Is Robert Downey Jr. hinting at an MCU return?
What?
It's the Monday headlines episode of the Breakroom. Hit that beautiful graphic.
H-E-A-D-L-A-N-E-S.
Real-time spelling here, folks. You come here for the nerdy news you need to know. You stay for the real-time spelling. I'm Zach Huddleston, and joining me today, I'm thrilled to have Maude Garrett here.
Be champion.
Yeah. And producer.
Give me a word.
Oh, how about Breakroom?
B-R-E-A-K-R-O-O-M. No space.
Wow.
There it is.
Could I get it in a sentence?
Welcome back to the Breakroom on YouTube.
There it is. So that's Evan Yee,
Hello.
producer. Sometimes in his box, but today at the table.
At the table.
At the table. Happy to be here as always. I've never been at the table before, so this is a great.
Is that
That's
true?
so not
no,
true.
That's not true.
That's so not true.
Okay.
But the effortless way you lie is something that we'll be talking about later.
We have been talking a lot about me lying today, so I'm excited to get into this.
Interesting. Though we're not going to be doing any lying here today. We're going to be doing hard-nosed reporting.
Straight shooting.
Of the nerdy news you didn't know. That's right. Nothing but straight shooting here. And let's start with some Star Wars straight shooting. That sounds like pew, pew, pew. Okay, first off, the upcoming James Mangold Star Wars film, currently titled Dawn of the Jedi, has a writer. The Hollywood Reporter announced on Friday of last week that writer Beau Willimon will be writing the film that will take place, that will trace the origins of the Force and be set 25,000 years before any of the timelines and stories told by the movies and shows so far. Quick note here, Beau Willimon has a pretty strong resume. He was a writer and producer on House of Cards. He wrote the 3-episode Andy Serkis arc in Andor Season 1. He's also, he wrote the Ides of March movie with Ryan Gosling and the Mary Queen of Scots.
Okay, yeah.
Margot Robbie and Saoirse Ronan film. He's worked a lot. But
different genres as well.
Yeah, mostly drama, a little bit of historic drama mixed in there. But what are our thoughts?
I'm glad it's moving ahead. I recently saw an interview with Josh Horowitz on MTV, who was interviewing David and Dibby, the original, the Game of Thrones team, who were supposed to be leading this particular project. And it sounds like it is eerily what D.B. Weiss and David Benioff had pitched. And Josh asked them, how do you feel about the fact that this is moving forward with James Mangold? And it kind of sounds very similar to the idea that you had. And they responded with a lot of grace, saying, we love James Mangold. We're happy that it's in his hands. We don't know if it's necessarily going to be the same thing. But yeah, how would you feel if like you shat the bed on one of the biggest shows of all time so you could do Star Wars only to watch someone else do it for you? Pour one out for our boys.
Well, they got that 3-body problem going on Netflix. They're doing okay, right? That's why they were doing that interview.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a hard series to adapt to. I think it's just like very technical.
We're gonna come back. There's there might be some Game of Thrones news later in this episode where we could revisit, not necessarily Benioff and Weiss, but just that universe. Other thoughts? You had some, or maybe was that your thought?
That was the thought.
You had some other takes. I like this casting, or not casting, hiring for the writer. Evan and I were talking a little bit about like kind of the potential release order. We know the first live action Star Wars film we're going to get is going to be that Mando and Grogu film, 2026, I believe. And then in theory, this is going to be sometime after that.
Yeah.
Could be the next live action movie, or the Daisy Ridley film could be before this, something like that. But I would guess this is maybe a 2027, 2028 release.
Well, they're only
probably.
writing it, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird though that they're going to the dawn of Jedi, where their whole slate of books have been like the next step, the future of Jedi. So it's like they're bookending it with books, literally, and movies.
Yeah, it could be really interesting to see like how the Daisy Ridley film could take, be like, this is where the Jedi will be now, but how they like will decide to reach back into the past even further than potentially like Luke had,
Well, and
reached into.
it's so far removed from everything we've seen. They're hopeful that like if this movie's a hit, you could get a whole new trilogy or series or whatever, right? Thousands of years before everything else, and have these things going concurrently, right? Like have kind of all the different eras being represented in almost concurrent films.
Yeah,
right?
and the fact that like a lot of the connective tissue doesn't have to, I guess, exist in the same way, which like contradicts what I just said. But they could make a choice of like what is referential, what is not, but it doesn't have to like. We don't have to watch the James Mangold movie and be like, all right, when are they gonna be next? Like, are they gonna like time warp into the future? It's like likely not gonna be something like that. I imagine.
I mean, Palpatine will be there, but
somehow.
other than that,
Somehow he returned.
I do wonder, and I guess I'm going to ask Star Wars questions because I wish I'd looked this up earlier, but it's like the dawn of Jedi, when Jedi first were created, were witches older than Jedi? I think they
That's
are.
interesting. Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if it's like, if the witches have been around longer and that's like sort of the use of magic and how magic has been morphed into the Force or tapping into like a new strain and so it kind of passes the baton into like a new hero. I'm just trying to think of that timeline. And also Knights of the Old Republic. I know that that's like tens of thousands of years earlier.
Yeah. So just like how it just even forms in the first place, right? Like what are the foundations they're gonna lay out?
If they're gonna pick and choose things that already technically exist that weren't actually part of canon, picking and choosing from Knights of the Old Republic would be a very great way to go because they planet hop. It's a cool ragtag team. I want HK-47 so bad. He's a droid that hates humans and is an assassin droid. So like it's all there ready to go.
Yeah.
You just have to pluck it and use it. I wonder if William, what's his last name?
Bo Williman?
Williman. I wonder if he's played it.
Yeah.
Well, or he's about to and doing research for this expensive gig he's undertaking.
Get that man.
Not to be confused with Bo DeMeo. A different Bo.
That's a great name. That's the kind of name you have to say the last name as well. He can't just ever be Bo. It's Bo DeMeo.
Bo DeMeo, recently fired X-Men 97 showrunner.
Oh, I bet.
He has not been hired to write an X-Men movie as far as we know. Okay, we got some other Star Wars news. So
Dun, 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 dun,
there it is.
dun,
Ooh, yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's not bad.
Yep.
Not bad.
Okay. Oh, not bad. Okay, I thought you were saying bad.
I'm encouraging you.
So we have a release date for the Mandalorian and Grogu film, May 22nd, 2026.
That's a while away.
That is
2
a
years.
decent ways away. So, and that again is going to be the first live action Star Wars movie
Since the
last
the last one. Rise of Skywalker.
There it is.
Skywalker, yes.
I was like, the last Skywalker?
Was
No, that's not it.
Was that 2019? 2018?
Yeah, 2018, I believe.
So that's quite a gap.
18.
Oh,
yeah.
2019.
2019.
So a 7-year gap between live action films. Obviously, in the interim, they've been doing a lot of Disney Plus.
I will say,
output.
the television shows have been so much better than the movies, so I'm happy that they've been putting eggs in the Disney Plus basket.
Yeah.
But like now that it's going to be 2 years away, that kind of just like you need consistency in storytelling, and having huge gaps can, I think, hurt it a little bit.
Well, so I guess that's the question. Are we going to have, is there going to be another 2 years with no Mandalorian output, right? Like,
Well, I
we're
mean,
not going to see Jin Djarin and little Grogu up there on any of our screens, big or small, until 2026.
Your foot sore?
My foot's sore. I just kicked the garbage can a
You
little bit.
oh yeah. You know what? Get your emotions out healthily. Yeah.
Where's my Grogu?
Kong's down.
Kong's
Oh,
that,
he
yeah.
was face planted. I just think that Pedro Pascal's so busy. He's just been
Yeah.
locked in to do Fantastic Four. He's already been doing The Last of Us, which, got him nominated through the wazoo of award season. This guy's hot to trot. Who's the guy that does his stand-in work when...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Brendan Wayne.
I have a feeling it's Brendan Wayne is going to be on set the whole time and Pascal's just going to be in the voice booth.
Yeah.
Voicing it. Like, if we realistically want to kind of get Pedro at all in his schedule the next couple of years, like, that's the thing. His star power's just taken off. Good on him.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And, like, Disney, if you didn't make him sign a contract where you owned him for that little bit, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Brendan Wayne, I think he's one of the actors that like takes the role of Din Djarin. He's talked to the Tatooine show about season 4. They asked
Great
about
name.
it. We can play this clip really quick just to read his emotions. Let's see.
I know that we're doing a movie, for sure. That's what I know. But I just don't like, unless they're gonna abandon streaming, why do you throw away the foundation that you built your streaming on, which is The Mandalorian?
Well, I think here's why. Hollywood Reporter also put out a big article today talking about the current profitability of all the different streaming services, right? Like everybody's doing, because of the end of Q1 of 2024, everybody's like fiscal year, yada, yada. They've all released all the reports on 2023. And the big theme for everybody that's not Netflix, so for your Maxes, your Disney Pluses, your Paramount Pluses, your Peacocks, right, is that they're all still losing money. They're growing and they're losing less money than they used to, but they're also losing money. And the way they're going to stop losing as much money is cutting their spend on streaming services. Shows like The Mandalorian, the Marvel shows are obviously very successful for Disney Plus, also incredibly expensive for a variety of reasons. And like we've heard this from David Zaslav at Max, that they're like going to quit making as much stuff just for streaming and like go back to the old model of like, no, put it out in theaters and then a little bit later put it on streaming. So like I think that's what the general Lucasfilm strategy here is, right? Like we actually need Grogu and The Mandalorian to feel like big screen stuff.
Yeah.
And if we're giving you that every 18 months on your TV, maybe it doesn't feel like you need to drop $22 to see it in IMAX, right? For as many people. So like, I think there's like some scarcity thing. Might be a good thing here. If it's been 5 years since you got to see any new Mando Grogu adventures, you might be more excited to go to a theater. Also, maybe they just can't afford to make these shows.
Well, I have the theory. Netflix is the only streaming service that has now cracked down on sharing passwords. And every single other one still lets you do so.
Though the rumor, or I believe it's even been announced, Disney Plus is about to start doing that as well.
No.
Which, shout out to my mom, Mary Huddleston in Jacksonville, Florida, who I know watches this show and is currently using my Disney Plus. It's not me watching all that Dancing with the Stars. That is my mom. Mom, your days are numbered.
I like that they're starting to consolidate. Like Disney Plus has a deal with Hulu, but the problem is you have to get ESPN. And as a non-sport person, I do not want ESPN on my television. So why am I paying for something that I will never use? But it's like if we can start consolidating a little bit, because I'm paying up the wazoo.
I know, it's like more than cable.
I'll get a message a month. And Hulu's $18.
Yeah.
$18 a month.
Similar reports that people are now spending, like the average spend, people are now spending as much money on streaming as they are on cable.
Yeah.
Like countrywide. Like the total spend on both for the first time ever. It is caught up. But interestingly, the average number of streaming services, that number has gone down. It used to be people recently were subscribing to more things. People have pared back the number of streaming
because it's so expensive.
Total. I think that's it. As the prices have gone up, and I think more people are just like, oh, I'll do Disney Plus when my show is coming out.
Cancel.
And then I cancel and I hop over to Max.
But Disney's making you save money if you do a year, and I got suck it into that. So I do 1 year at a time. That's how they get me, and I can't share that password now. It's distraction. But can we rank? Like, if you had to let go of one of your streaming services, which one would it be?
Go off one?
Yeah, which one's gone? Because I don't have Paramount or Peacock or.
I have Paramount, so that would be the one, but I feel like that's cheating because I also never watch anything on it because that one's for my dad.
Yeah. Paramount Plus would probably be it for me. I can't get rid of Peacock. Traders season 2, guys. Good garbage TV. Also, I think is it Peacock that has the good A24?
Oh, maybe.
Or is that Hulu? Anyway.
Netflix is getting that now.
Yeah.
I think they might vary. Like they might just make
Move it
different
around.
deals for
Yeah.
different.
Or maybe
services.
Peacock might have all the neon films or whatever. But
I would choose Netflix though.
that's who you're cutting.
Yeah, that's what I would cut because I gotta watch Bluey.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's Bluey on?
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Those
so
are your people.
sweet. Brisbane. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
Mando Grogu.
I think just to kind of wrap this conversation up, people in the chat are asking, like Iron Camp 3000 asking, will this replace the season 4? Bumming with Bo saying like Din and Grogu can pop up in other shows along the way. I think that's great, right? I think when we think of replace season 4, if Mandalorian and Grogu can take the place of what like a story of season 4 was going to be, but there will still always be the option for Disney to do a season 4 of this show, right? Whether or not this was going to be the original story, like this season 4, it can be, they can move things
Or
around.
do you think it wraps up the story?
I mean, that's the better way to go out, right? Like if they're...
One or both?
That would put bums in seats for sure.
I mean, Grogu dies, right?
What?
Grogu dies? Probably?
In the movie?
I guess.
Come on, dude.
Wrong way.
Yeah, and a reminder, so in between now and then, still this year, obviously we're about to get Acolyte. We're going to talk about Acolyte in a second.
Yep.
After that, later this year, we get Skeleton Crew.
So
And then the plan is next year we get Andor Season 2. They
Yeah.
already started production in that. And Ahsoka Season 2,
Yeah,
maybe,
tail end
that
of
they
next-
haven't
of that next year,
started
maybe.
production of yet. So there's a lot of live action in between now and then.
Yeah.
Probably other things that haven't even been announced yet.
Oh, yeah. Maybe,
I was just going to say, I'm surprised so many got renewed if they're losing that much money.
yeah. I mean, but it is the premiere IP, right?
Well,
Like,
and Bob Iger has said that like though those shows are very expensive, and overall Disney Plus wants to cut back on how much they're spending on content, that is by far their most successful content, and it drives the most subscribers. I mean, there's a lot of people like us that are not subscribing to Disney Plus for Moana or Frozen or whatever, but we are subscribing for Star Wars and Marvel stuff, right? And if they cut back on that, a lot of us would quit subscribing. Right?
yeah, that's true.
Not my mom, who loves Dancing with the Stars. Okay.
Your mom a big Sochi Gomez fan? Was she rooting for her all the way at the end
I think she did enjoy her work on there. She won, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Who?
The girl from Multiverse of Madness, America Chavez.
Oh, good on her.
Yeah.
She got moves, huh?
It's always, again, I've watched very little Dancing with the Stars, but I feel like it's always either professional athletes or very young, nimble people that win the show. You know what I mean? You can always kind of pick who the ringers are going to be. But anyways,
I've never seen a single episode.
I think I did when I was like, when the first season happened. But
What, 19 years ago?
yeah,
Okay.
I was like, 12.
Don't.
my mom's coming on the show. We're going to do a full season
Yay!
breakdown.
Full season breakdown,
Educated.
Easter egg, details you missed, you know, all that stuff. Also, before we move on from Star Wars stuff, we have been getting a lot of new Acolyte pictures and teases ahead of a feature article from Empire this week. There's a lot of pictures out there, but the one that caught my eye that I wanted to show the Wookiee. Look at him, Kelnaka, hanging out.
See, now real men wear totes.
Oh, yeah. What do you
that?
think he's got in his tote? Snacks?
A bandolier ammunition.
Wait, but so he has a bandolier, and then to refill the bandolier, he's got a tote with more bullets. I think it's full of snacks. I think Wookiees are large creatures, probably with high metabolisms. They need to be eating a lot. Do we know anything about Wookiee diets? Are they vegetarians? Are they meat eaters?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yes, you do. Oh my God. Return of the Jedi. Chewie gets caught because there was a hanging deer-esque type thing that was a trap and he wanted to eat raw meat.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Good.
Thank you, man.
I think all my knowledge of Wookiees just come from Life Day.
Get out of here.
See ya.
They like to watch porn?
Yeah, that's
Just
right. Yeah,
Just grandpa.
Just grandpa. Also, we got Carrie-Anne Moss saying that her character, Jedi Master Indara, is heavily inspired by her character from the Matrix
She
series,
just can't
Trinity.
break out of Trinity, can she?
I know, but it's so iconic, right?
True.
So iconic.
What if she just wants to be like, I gotcha, like prankster kind of gal?
Yeah.
Carrie-Anne
He's
Moss
going
Barbara.
against type.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think that means, heavily inspired by Trinity?
Maybe just in like the.
Fight choreography.
Oh, that's yeah. That is actually
Like kind of a martial arts badass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we've seen a lot of teases of in the trailers that's kind of like how they're going to fight a lot of like more martial arts. So I think that, but also maybe just the way that she kind of carries herself in like the role and in the Jedi Temple, like maybe her allegiance or to the order. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Keep an eye out as Empire drops some of that stuff.
Black latex in a galaxy far, far away.
Let's go.
Wouldn't be the first time. Darth Vader, I'm looking at you, sunshine.
Hell yeah.
All right. Hey, Fallout release week. Let's check out some clips. This first one featuring Walton Goggins playing
Noseless.
the Ghoul.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. You look out at this wasteland, looks like chaos.
Fun.
Do you know why he lost his nose?
No.
Radiation.
Oh.
Radiation
Is it like
damages my
frostbite? Like it starts on your extremities?
I guess so. Actually, I could be making this up. Someone's gonna correct me in the comments. I just wanted to know if you guys knew anything, and I got my answer,
Which is nothing.
which is very little. But there is a lot of radiation out there. It would explain why he's also red.
Right. We have this other clip too for the dog companion named TBD.
This is important.
Let's see.
You're wondering, yes, you can pet the dog. You can pet the dog.
Yeah.
Now, the dog is in the game. I always choose the dog for the companion. Very helpful.
What else can you choose?
To not.
Oh, to not? Oh,
No.
yeah. If you have the choice, choose a dog.
You choose a dog. My
Yeah.
brother does not choose the dog. Gets in the way. Wants to make it as hard as possible to play the game, and so this is the dog. I still don't think I'm going to send him a Christmas card. Like, I found that out. Full judgment. I do not like that.
Oh, no.
But having the dog companion, I'm glad they kept that in because I do think it's a very important part of the game, and to bring it into the show, knowing that it's going to be incredibly difficult to have to sort of CGI or have a dog on set. I respect it.
Nice.
I respect it.
Yeah, what's kind of your like hype level? I mean, Zach, you don't know much about the Fallout
I know nothing about the
series.
franchise.
I've
but
never played it.
Solely based on kind of prestige adaptation of a video game series in my recent experience or last year's experience with The Last of Us, I'm hype.
Yeah.
I'm down to watch this. It looks good. It's from good people. I like the cast.
Walter Goggins is in it.
Yeah.
Ella Purnell's amazing. You
Great
guys
in Yellow
met-
Jackets. Yeah.
Yellow Jackets. She's also the voice of Jinx in Arcane on Netflix, which is an incredibly well done animated show. One of my favorites of that year, actually, when it came out. She's older Jinx. She's
Okay, I was about to say,
yeah,
I was like,
older
wait a
Jinx.
second.
There you go. I kind of really like where this is going so far. It's got a very, very set aesthetic, and they seem to be doing a very good job sticking and committing to that. I'm just interested to see if they have a completely unique storyline, or if it's going to adapt a conglomerate of different storylines from the games, or if it's going to be basically a Fallout 4 kind of like playthrough.
Right, because there are multiple games that are all kind of set within the same type of world, but just different ways that the story you go about the story in each one, right?
But the fact that she's in that like blue and yellow jumpsuit, which is what you start in. Do I give you guys the premise? Do you want to know the premise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in like sort of like the near future, and essentially there are bunkers that are underground, and there is a nuclear explosion, and if you have the money and you bought your bunker, you can go down into the ground, and you are set up into sort of like cryo frozen, and you're frozen for a set amount of time. I think it's 50 years in this particular one. It's only 50 years, but so when you come out, 50 years of radiation and the aftermath has happened, and so that's why there's a lot of radioactive cockroaches. Ugh. And that's why there's like, deformities that are happening because of that radiation, and that's why she's looking very pristine. And that's why it's got that post-apocalyptic feel.
Yeah.
So as far as sort of like a slate of what you can do with it goes, like I'm super interested to be in this world.
Yeah.
For sure. And it seems like Amazon is really excited about it.
Cha-ching.
Sounds like they've already kind of like soft announced a second season of the show will be happening. It'll be filming in California for a tax credit, as things do, as things happen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see this come out. We'll probably cover the show here on the show. The Breakroom show, not the Fallout show. We'll be covering it here. Sometime next week, we'll do a full season review. So
Yeah, because this is getting binge dropped.
binge drop on
However many
Nice.
episodes? 6 episodes? 8 episodes?
6. Yeah, I think
Drop
6.
them all at once.
Thursday night.
So get to them when you can, and then come to the break room.
Yay!
Yeah. And drop a comment if you're watching this, if you'll be watching, what you're most excited for in the series, what you want us to talk about. Let us know.
Hell yeah. Real quick, we want to shout out our friends at One Shot Energy.
Woo.
I am holding the One Shot Energy voice drops.
Whoa.
This is a new product they have. It's aimed at musicians, podcasters, creatives like us. Evan's holding the focus chews.
Yeah, focus chews. Open.
Which are aimed at everybody who likes to focus.
Whoa.
And those are a non-caffeinated product that have like your B12s and your other good vitamins and minerals. They also have a caffeinated product, the one-shot energy chews. But that's like, sometimes you want a little boost, but you don't want to drink a cup of coffee or slam an energy drink. Instead, you just want to pop in a tasty little gummy chewy thing.
Yeah.
Last week, on our emergency Silver Surfer broadcast, producer John ate one on the air, not realizing it did turn his mouth blue.
Yeah, so it's a fun side effect.
He blew himself.
But I will say, like, it says that it's got 22% of your daily fiber with the prebiotic in there. That's so good for your gut.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite way to consume fiber? Throw that in the chat. Yeah, but all of the one shots are all made. It's all made from good ingredients, right? It's all plant-based, naturally sweetened. They use like all high quality stuff, and they're good friends of the channel. Anthony and the team over there at One Shot. We've been working with them for a long time at New Rockstars, and we're thrilled to be working with them at Breakroom. Get started with One Shot Energy today by going to no, it's right there on the screen. OneShotEnergy.com/New Rockstars for 10% off your order. Give it a try. I bet you'll be coming back for more. Also, we want to shout out to me, my mug. Look at this. X-Men 97.
I forgot that's what it was
I
called.
want one of those, please.
Whoa.
You can take this one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We've got a lot of really fun X-Men 97 inspired merch. This is kind of the year of X for us over at Nerd Riot. We've got our rest in peace. But not for our line of X-Men inspired merch, which lives. We've got our Xavier Institute line over there. You can get this on a shirt or a mug or a hoodie.
Yeah.
The really cool Storm Heed My Command
nice.
graphic. I think we have some of them.
Yeah, there's that on a shirt. There's
that is a badass shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that in a really fun. There's the Xavier Institute.
Not with the white stripe on it.
just
We gotta
Xavier.
fix that. I keep forgetting.
It's just Xavier, by the way. That's how you say his name. I don't know why Americans are like Xavier. It's just Xavier.
Xavier. Oh, yeah.
Xavier.
That's it. How'd that feel?
It's not spelled with a Z, Maude.
But it's
spelled with an X.
Yeah, Xavier. So wild.
You know what? Regardless of how you spell it, buy one of these shirts. Or pronounce it, I should say. We all spell it the same. Some of us choose to mispronounce it. Head over to nerdriot.shop. We've also dropped some other interesting designs. There's a very fun Thing the Bear inspired shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, chef.
That's it. It says, "It's cousin time." It's the shirt, and it's the thing in an apron. It's a dope ass design. Okay, it might have been my idea. I'll take credit for it either way. Let's move on to my favorite segment every Monday. It's the Maude Monday Minute, where Maude is going to try to get through as many headlines
Without
as
my
she can.
intrusive thoughts winning, which is, so far my success rate is nil. Absolutely zero. Today, I love my intrusive thoughts. Okay, here are my headlines. If you like the news that I'm saying, I would like a, as the meter. Ooh.
Yeah.
And, ooh.
Got it.
So that's just like a stream of interest would be great. Okay,
Yeah.
can I get my time? Thank you, let's go. If you want to watch a classic on the big screen, Ridley Scott's Alien will be re-releasing in theaters April 26, 2024. That is this year. Okay, for all the Adam Sandler stands in the chat, Adam Sandler has confirmed that Happy Gilmore 2 is in the work for Netflix. It was actually Shooter McGavin that let that one slip. Another House of Dragon spin-off is in the works with writer Mattson Tomlin teasing the research process for Aegon's Conquest. Ooh. I'm going to put a pin in that. I'm going to get a ooh back. I've thought
30
on the
seconds.
ooh. Disney updated a handful of their release dates. Tron Ares will be releasing October 2025, and Toy Story 5, God, they're milking that, will release on June 19, 2026. A live-action Moana will release July 10, 2026. Now, Godzilla Kong director Adam Wingard said that if he did another MonsterVerse film, he would want it to include the kaiju Destroyer. In an interview with Pace Magazine, executive producer Toby Kisher said that the Sonic... next. Robert Kirkman's hyping up Invincible Season 3. I'm out of time. But he wants every episode to feel like a finale, and if you haven't watched the finale of Season 2, we might just be getting that, guys.
I love every episode feels like a finale. What a crazy ambition that is.
I think that's a way to go. If it's only 22 minutes, pack that punch.
Yeah. And
I too want to come back to that
The
Game of
ooh.
Thrones.
Oh no, it's just you wrote ooh in the script, and all I could think of is Harry Potter, the Triwizard Cup was the Goblet of Fire, and he's picking out the dragons, and it was like the Chinese fireball. Ooh, that's all I could think of in that moment. Okay.
I don't remember that moment.
When this news got announced, I think Brandon Barrick, who's sometimes on the show, producer at New Rockstars, he mentioned he had the take that like he thinks that Aegon's Conquest show would actually have been a better first spinoff than House of the Dragon. Mm-hmm. You agree?
Yeah.
Is that Aegon like the Aegon that's introduced in House of the Dragon, or Aegon like
It's like the
senior?
first Targaryen to come over.
Yes.
Got it.
It starts with him. And
So
then
thousands and thousands, like House of the Dragon is way before Game of Thrones. This is way before House of the Dragon.
Aegon is why the Targaryens are in power,
Right.
have dragons, like have conquered everything. That's why, and this whole debacle is why what sort of differs from a Targaryen name a little bit. Kind of. No, it just weakens sort of the resolve for it all because it's split. But the Targaryens were reigning for a long time because of this particular conquest.
Yeah.
Aegon was nuts though. He was bonks.
Is he the one with multiple sister wives?
I think so. The problem is when you look at there's like 9 Aegons over the course of time.
They only had one
Which
name,
one?
and then the ones that aren't named Aegon are like a variation on Aegon.
It's Rhaena, Rhaenys, Rhaenyra, Rhaena, Rhae.
That's
Yeah.
right. But still, like I think it's a really fun story. And hey, if they're developing it,
Give us
HBO
Duncan an egg first.
Well, they are, I think.
Yeah,
Right? That,
yeah.
that
Just
one's been
announced the
cast.
cast.
That one's about to go into development.
Yeah, he's hot. We bring him up, please. Gotta stop doing
Come on the show.
it. Hey!
Yes.
Ooh, I've got a type. Ooh.
What's in the pouch? All right. Welcome back to the Break Room, our brand new game show. What's in the pouch? We're going to show you pouches. And guess what? Okay. Hey, let's get into some Marvel news.
Yeah.
This deep into a Break Room episode, we're just now mentioning Marvel news.
Classic.
And,
Happens every time.
it's definitely been the thumbnail, and we definitely ignored it for 35 minutes. Okay. Hey, there was a Robert Downey Jr. Esquire profile in the last week that is getting a lot of attention. He was asked if he would return to the MCU, to which he gave an interesting response. He said, "Happily, it's too integral a part of my DNA. That role chose me. And look, I always say, never ever bet against Kevin Feige. It is a losing bet. He's the house. He will always win." So there's two interesting threads there. The fact that he's absolutely willing to come back to the MCU, which is interesting. I don't think he's ever outright said he wouldn't. But, for him to so heartily endorse is interesting. Maude?
Oh, I mean, this has PR written all over it. This is the safest response he could have given. He has made it elusive enough that he is showing interest and not shitting on the thing that brought his career back to life. So he's paying homage to this role and to Disney and to Kevin Feige. He has also then pushed it over to him. So he has just removed himself from all decision-making part. He's like, hey, if the conversation happens, and now it all rests on Kevin Feige to use him or to not use him. So this is actually A+ brilliant statement making from a publicist who has made sure that his image is squeaky clean and that Kevin Feige has to be the bad guy if they don't use him.
Or, don't you think there's also, this is the 3D chess version of this, that you could read into this. Because, of course, when you say, Kevin Feige always wins, people will be like, last 2 years of Marvel? Not so much. But one could argue, right, that the downturn in some of the Marvel output coincided with the Disney Plus push, right? Largely a Bob Chapek and even Bob Iger mandate on Kevin Feige, hey, you're doing so good, you're one of the most successful film producers of all time. Now you also have to be a TV producer and quintuple the volume of output from your studio, right? And that happened kind of at the same time when like Kevin Feige had like consolidated a lot of power for himself. Like he doesn't really have to answer to anybody other than the top at Disney. And so like, is there even a world? I don't think Downey was trying to do this here, but like where this is him almost saying like, no, Kevin Feige always wins. This little cold streak is not his fault.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I'm sure they also have like a really long history, right? That he's just like, he doesn't want to see his friend like get beat up in the press. Right?
Also, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. made hundreds of millions of dollars.
So much money. That's why he's open to this, because if he was to be like, I will never do it again, he's going to piss off the biggest audience that he has, the Marvel fans, and he's also going to look ungrateful, and he's turning down a whopping paycheck.
Yeah, because he's in like the negotiation spot there, right?
Yeah,
like,
he can't shut that door.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting because a lot of outlets that have kind of picked up this quote are saying that Robert Downey Jr. is open to returning as Iron Man, which I thought was like an interesting way to kind of like grab that quote and be like, yeah, he's as Iron Man.
But that's not the quote.
Yeah.
He doesn't say I would come back as Tony Stark, right? He just says I would come back to work for Kevin Feige at Marvel.
Yes,
right?
yeah. And in the past too, Feige has said they don't really want to touch that moment, right, of Iron Man's death. They don't want to like resurrect him. They were like, we worked really hard to get that moment.
100% agree.
Is, right?
Do not unravel that. It has to mean something.
Right. Yeah. And so if like with all that meaning with that, like, do you think that audiences are going to be like, once they find out Robert Downey Jr., let's just say he comes back, right? And whatever role we can say, blah, blah, blah. Do you think just his presence is enough to bring it back? Bring people or get people interested? Or is it that like he has to come back as Iron Man? If it's a variant, if it's something else, right? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
He is a draw card, I think, as Iron Man. I think, again, it could cheapen it if he comes back as someone else. A variant, a shapeshifter who, like, sees Tony Stark.
What if it's even just a flashback scene? What if...
They've done that already. And the CGI was okay. It was okay. But, like, he's only getting older, so to kind of bring him back to stay younger, I don't think makes sense at all. And you can't go forward because he didn't go forward. So... yeah, I can just see it if you're doing a variant crossover.
Yeah.
What if, and we were talking about other options. What if he plays a new character? Maybe there's a fully CGI character like Bradley Cooper's Rocket Raccoon or something like that, right? Where he can just do the mocap. Now that doesn't have the fan lure. I don't think anybody's like, yay, Robert Downey Jr. as the voice of a cartoon character or something like that. Like, it's not going to be the reason you pay to go see a movie, but... If
there was a variant one, do you remember the Iron Man animated series where he's like fully got a mustache and he's like a little bit, there's a lot more yellow, I believe, in the suit.
Sure.
Having him back as like that variant, my bum would be in a seat for that.
Oh,
that's the way that you would lure, like starting to show the different variants that pop up.
Yeah. GSU Eagle in the chat saying, could he come back as an AI consciousness to guide both Ironheart and his daughter?
Oh, like a Jarvis or an Edith?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That as a voice role, I like that idea a lot. What about like a different character, like live action? Could he play like someone's father or like play...
And we're just going to ignore the fact that, wow, that guy looks a lot like Tony Stark.
He's the next Uncle Ben.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. That would be...
I mean, he kind of is in some ways, right? Already.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, he became that surrogate character for... Or that... Not surrogate, but what's the word for it?
I know what you're trying to say.
Parallel, right? Yes. Yeah, for Tom Holland's Spider. That's right. Yeah, I think there's so many interesting ways that this could go if they were to bring him back. Do you think it'd be part of the marketing though? Do you think that this is one where they're like, no matter what the role, they're like, let's save it. Let's save it for the real end.
It's more like a Multiverse of Madness where like they didn't market that Patrick Stewart was going to show up. Or
yeah.
You're not paying $20 million without using that as a marketing ploy, surely.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, or is he even the headlining character in a film, right? It's the blank movie.
Yeah, because I could see it being some type of like, a scene like the Multiverse of Madness scene where it's like the Illuminati and it's like he is a group for like a 20-30 minute spin, but I just don't think that's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
What if they do Iron Man 2.5? Okay, hear me out. It's
Whoa.
a story told in between Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3.
Hold on, does Gwyneth Paltrow know where that would sit in the timeline?
She's already filmed her
know?
part.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's mostly press materials from Goop and whatever. They're able to stitch together enough Gwyneth to have a fully President Pepper Potts. But yeah, what if it's just like something like that where they play with the timeline, they go back and they tell a story before he died? I know that like that doesn't accomplish what Kevin Feige's saying about like they wrapped up that story.
Right.
It's a perfect ending. We don't want to, lessen that at all. Yeah.
But yeah, to Maude's point, like, I mean, the de-aging stuff has gotten better, right, since then, but it'd be a lot.
Yeah.
And now he's into playing roles where he plays older people.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
Oppenheimer role, he like aged up.
Yeah, he's like, age me up,
Yeah.
let's go, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Rosso Games had a comment that kind of is making me think about something else. If we do see, at the end of Captain Marvel, or at the end of the Marvels, we have that scene, right, where Beast is there. Could we just get Robert Downey Jr. playing Tony Stark of that universe, right? Just something like that. Someone who's just like so ingrained. Yeah.
But it's just him.
But it's just him.
It's Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, no, sorry. Could he be playing Tony Stark in
multiverse.
In the multiverse, yeah, like that.
Yeah, but it's still Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Just in a different
universe. Do you think that is going back to the variant talk, right?
Yeah,
but specifically in that universe, does that undo the
No,
death
because
roll?
it's a completely different universe.
Okay.
So this one in our timeline died.
Right,
and that's
right.
how it ended.
Okay.
That's where it gets tricky because
Yeah.
it's like he would have to find out that another him has died. So that would be
Oh,
like a really
sure.
interesting thing.
And
It'd be
how
like
he
you
died?
sacrificed yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like tight. That's
What
really
if
cool.
what if like that's the key to like bringing Marvel back to full strength is they just go to an alternate universe and just rerun the entire Infinity Saga.
No.
Just like redo, and it's just like it comes back to like I Love You 2000 or whatever, right? It's just all minor variations.
Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you've done.
yeah.
I thought you were misquoting it. No, because we've already kind of had that with Loki, where it's like you can pick a time and tweak,
Yes.
So
And,
it's
and
like-
it's a terrible pitch. I would not want to see this, but I'm just saying.
I'm
At
Good.
some point in some brainstorming meeting, somebody's like, let's just run it all back.
I'm seeing this crazy idea from Brett Scott in the chat right now that if I was in the producer hole, my hand would be raised
Yeah.
up, and I would be jumping for attention, even though it's 350 and we got to move on.
we got to move on. But Brett Scott's got something to say.
Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
Ooh, and he's maybe in the mask the whole time?
Or not. I mean, half in, half out, but it doesn't matter.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great idea.
But it's too soon. You can't discern that it's a whole.
That's true.
It's,
yeah.
it's,
It would have all the characters from that are like carrying the legacy on be like, what? Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. To your point.
But Brett, well done. Thanks for being in the comments. You stopped Evan in his tracks.
Yeah.
We also got some Daredevil Born Again news.
Let's go.
Various reports saying that Daredevil Born Again has wrapped filming, while a stunt coordinator, Philip Silvera, posted on Instagram that the first half of Daredevil Born Again has finished filming. And we were kind of debating right before we went live. There might be some semantics going on, right? This was announced originally forever ago that it was going to be 2 12-episode seasons, I believe. Were like greenlit at the same time.
Yeah, or like the first one was like 18 episodes.
Yeah, it was
and
a
then,
crazy order. It was going to be
something.
by far like the most episodes ever ordered initially for a Marvel show. And so, and who knows what's happened to the number of episodes and blah, blah, blah. But do you think he's saying the first half, meaning the first half of this planned double season? But it actually is the whole first season is done.
Yeah. Oof. I don't know. A lot of outlets would look super silly, including us, for saying it's finished filming.
Are we worried about looking silly? Because frankly...
Wow, gosh, beat.
That's content.
That's content. That's the short, baby.
Whoa, whoa!
That's the short. That's the short.
Malleable mod over here.
Oh, I can do that.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look, it's six of one, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
split that either way. I think this is like one I'm okay to just wait and not jump the gun on.
Yes. And we're supposed to be getting this show at the beginning of 2025. I
Yeah.
believe we don't know exact dates, but we're thinking an early 2025 arrival. And then a set pictures reveals that.
Ayala Zurer.
Thank you. Has returned as Vanessa Fisk. So last year there was this kind of hubbub. A different actress, Sandrine Holt, had taken over the role. She kind of put that on her Instagram or something like that. And then, according to Daredevil updates on Twitter, it seems she and another actress have since deleted their posts announcing that they've been cast in the show. So they've kind of reversed course, gone back to the original actress. I wonder if this aligned with them bringing back the original Foggy and so many of the other actors. It's weird to recast some, but not others. And so maybe once they committed to actually, let's just bring back everybody.
I mean, before I saw that Daredevil updates tweet, I had a whole. I was gonna be what if this is a multiverse? I was gonna spring a hot take. There's two Vanessas he's gonna see in just like in Spider-Verse, right, where we're seeing the multiple versions of his family play out. It's I was they could keep both, right? This could be a scene where he's and then the deletion. I'm oh no, they're out. They're not in the show. There's no way.
That sucks because you've signed a contract if you're putting a photo out on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
Yes.
So to have that undone,
And maybe they got paid. You know what?
Yeah,
Here's to people getting paid for not working.
that's the goal. Everyone's what's your dream job? I'm to get paid to not work.
Yeah.
We call it gardening leave in Australia. So
Gardening?
yeah,
leave?
if you,
Because you go home and work on your garden.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. You can't work anywhere else because you're literally getting paid to not work. That dreams. Hey guys, aim high. Aim high.
And by that we mean aim extremely low. The combination of those two.
And a
things.
slightly similar vein, but a funny story nonetheless. My friend Marcos Gonzalez, who wrote on Jury Duty, he gets residual checks from Morbius because he was in a scene, but it got cut. But every now and then, he still gets those checks from Morbius. He's great, incredible,
That's
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, and the last thing here, I guess, is X-Men 97. There's a 40-second clip today that came out. Got our first shot of Dazzler.
Let's have a look at Dazzler.
Wow, look at her.
Oh, as a redhead.
As a redhead, yeah.
Okay, she was blonde with big 80s blonde hair, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the gem in the holograms. Yeah.
A lot of
Often depicted that way,
got a lot of Dazzler variants in Marvel stuff.
Wasn't there fan casting that they wanted Taylor Swift as Dazzler?
Yeah, I think in Deadpool 3, it's still up in the air. She could still be, or
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm so used to calling it Deadpool 3. And also the return of Nightcrawler.
Yeah, show us
Got
that
this. It's a very fast clip because he pops in and he hugs them both, which is very
Yeah.
fun. I'm excited to see. Hopefully that's this week's episode because we've speculated this week could be a Gambit focused episode. And then this picture I wanted to highlight for you guys. So this was in the original trailer as well. We've got a statue of Magneto, statue of Charles Xavier in front of his temple.
Magneto's so daddy in this series. I was not ready for that.
Yeah, I think same.
Yeah! Can we talk about that for a second? It's oh no, the worst guy in the history of mutants is taking over because Xavier wanted him to take over, and everyone's oh, that's so bad. Don't get out.
Silver
of the
Fox.
school.
Also, that weird. It was a I don't know.
Illusional monster.
Yeah, where he's.
We're
freaking-
Rogue. With Rogue.
Right before they melted.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
Damn,
I know.
this
She
is
was all
sexy.
over. She was all over him, and I was girl, I get it. And Gambit even got it because he's what is my go?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done. If that's what I've got to compete with, this is not happening for me. I can't do his accent.
You're close. It was almost there for a second.
A little bit Creole in there.
Yeah.
Oh, mon chéri.
But yeah, anyway, Magneto. That's the draw to watch X-Men if you haven't already.
Some would say his presence. His presence is magnetic. Is what I was going for.
No.
But it
You
sounded
look at him, you get pregnant.
Okay, so like Brandon said last week, nothing good ever happens on Genosha. We're seeing this kind of unity image between the two men. Probably some really dark stuff is going to happen. Tolerance is extinction, I think is the title. Extinction to tolerance. I'm flipping the words. But regardless, how dark do you think this show could go? There is famously in the past have kind of been a massacre of mutants. Also, mutants being depowered to an M-Day, which I think is slightly different, but also part of it takes place in Genosha. What do you guys think?
We haven't seen no significant characters have died so far this season. I mean, Storm had her powers taken away. We assume that will be reversed. This is a show that famously killed Morph in the first season, then reversed course and brought him back. A weird a weird brainwashed version of the character or whatever. But it's man, and that was in the 90s on a kid's show to kill a character. I bet somebody dies before the end of the season.
It's interesting because they're playing it safe somewhat with sort of like the violence and the damage, but then that horror-esque sort of moment with that illusional magic coming through, like that was quite grotesque. And like that was like kind of pushing it a little bit. And then, you know, you've got Sinister who's playing the long, spoilers, playing the long game, who's like, it's very Ghostbusters 2. I've chosen this baby, which I'm going to make in my image. You know, I think when you kind of step into that territory, it gets a bit horror.
It's both Ghostbusters 2 and New Testament.
There you go. There you go. I had to agree by default because I didn't know what you're talking about. Now that
I've chosen this baby.
Yeah.
That's
to make
it my image.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and like, talk about a long con. I guess when you're Mr. Sinister and you're like whatever hundreds of years old, it's like I can wait for this kid to grow up to be whatever. And certainly that Mr. Sinister, that was at episode 3.
Yeah.
That was a really dark
episode. It
right?
was.
And violent and
Just
like
gross.
kind of gross. Yeah, it's some fun body horror stuff. Yeah, I hope this. And I like that we're getting a wide diversity of tones throughout the episodes. I hope we get more of that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like as a recent kind of like modern comics X-Men fan, like seeing that the run in Krakoa was all about unity, right? About Xavier and Magneto like putting away their differences so that they could like run this island together, run this country together. And now seeing like the fall from that, I feel like seeing a kind of like fall from this unity, whether Magneto has ulterior motives or not, is going to be like particularly crushing for the group of X-Men as they all come to realize, oh, Magneto was right. Something is going to happen, whether it's Magneto, Sinister, or something else, and then we're thrust into season 2 with whatever.
You can say Thrust and Magneto in the same sentence whenever you like. You don't have an HR division, do you?
All right.
It's me!
Yeah,
Okay, that's it for us today.
I'm being cut off.
No, it was a perfect ending. And we'll tease for a future episode the rumor roundup that we didn't get to.
Oh, yeah.
Some juicy rumors. But thank you so much for watching The Break Room today on Twitch or YouTube. Definitely subscribe to both those places if you haven't already. You should follow Maude on all of her social platforms to keep up with her book club and other things she's doing.
Yeah, we've just locked into author Q&As with Pierce Brown for book 5 of the Red Rising series, and Andy Weir, who has written Project Hail Mary, The Martian, and Artemis, which will be our bonus book.
Ooh,
so
wow.
I'm really excited to chat with those guys.
Wow, good
nice.
Gets, Maude.
Absolutely was a brag. It was.
Hell yeah. And be sure to, of course, keep up with Sister Channel New Rockstars. Got a lot of good content coming out. What else do we have coming out on The Break Room this week?
We have a discussion around the Joker 2 trailer coming out tomorrow once the Joker 2 trailer comes out. We have the X-Men After Show for episode 4 happening Wednesday, not on Twitch, just on YouTube. Some of you are like, why aren't some of these videos live?
Episode 5.
Episode 5. Oh, 5, yeah. So the After Show is something we're doing just on YouTube and not live on Twitch, but that may change, just not this week. And then Thursday, we're gonna do a mid-season lingering question. So I'll put out a call on social media, submit your questions and all that. And a shout out to Ryan Painter. Happy birthday.
Ryan.
They're watching in England. It just rolled over, so it's midnight. It's their birthday in the UK. Thank you for all your support in the community and for being part of the early crew.
Happy birthday, yeah?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
All right, and I think the garage door is telling us we gotta wrap up.
We got
Somebody's trying to get in.
Yeah.
Is it Mr. Sinister? I'll be first in the green goo tank, if that's the case. I'll go in your green goo tank, Mr. Sinister. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
See ya.